So in the last class, we ended with the fact that, with the observation rather, that increasing the income tax may not always increase the tax revenue. It depends on where the labor is. If at higher wage, then increasing tax will actually lead to more work and increasing tax revenue. But if at lower wage, then increasing tax, reduction of wage will lead to lower labor and lower tax revenue. Now that means that the relationship between income tax and the tax revenue, so relationship between tax and tax revenue, is of this nature. So diagrammatically speaking, it generates a bell-shaped curve. Right? So let's draw the curve here. So the curve that we are talking about will take the tax rate here. So on the x-axis there is tax rate, and here there will be tax revenue, and the shape will be like this. And at the optimum point there is some tax rate, and here we'll symbolize it by alpha. So there is some alpha star, okay, at which the tax revenue is maximum, and beyond that, if I increase the tax rate, then the tax revenue is actually going to decrease. And this is why even when the government is looking for higher tax revenue, the optimal way is not really increasing the tax rate. Okay, so what is the relationship? The relationship is the following. So from zero tax, if tax rate increases, okay, the tax revenue increases initially, but beyond some tax rate, it reduces. Or beyond some tax rate, it reduces the tax revenue. This is a result. This result is known as Laffer curve phenomenon. When you'll be studying public finance in third year, you will look at this. So this curve is basically our Laffer curve. Okay. So diagrammatically, the exposition of all of this is the Laffer curve. And in a nutshell, in one-liner, the result is that a higher tax rate, so this is the learning here, a higher tax rate is not always optimal, right? So this is the understanding. Now we will do a small exercise of calculus, and we'll look at how this tax revenue and tax rate, they are connected to the elasticity of labor supply curve. Okay, now for that we are again going to need a construct, and the construct is the following. Our notation, as I said, for tax rate, so our notation for tax rate is alpha, which is, as you know, is a bit non-standard, because in general in literature we write tax rate as T, correct? So here we are going to take alpha because the tax revenue will also be written in terms of T, so that will create a notational confusion. Okay, so notation for tax rate is alpha, okay, and the tax revenue is alpha WH. So this is hours worked, This is labor, right? This is the wage, and this is the tax rate. Okay, so wage and labor and tax rate. So the tax revenue is alpha WH. Now, there is one layer in this. The layer is this. You see, before tax, okay, not H, sorry, L, sorry, L. So before tax, L was the L star that was chosen. It was chosen at the rate of W, right? Now, if tax is alpha, then after tax wage is, let's say that is omega, which is equal to 1 minus alpha W. Okay. So if tax is alpha, definitely the after tax wage is 1 minus alpha W, which I denote by omega. Now L star will be equal to L star as a function of omega and not W. So the working is like this. The labor was working at a rate W, and then the government imposes a tax alpha, which is taken obviously at the rate of W. But now as the after tax wage that is received by the labor has reduced, the decision will be taken on that after tax wage. Okay. So it will be L star as a function of 1 minus alpha W. All right. Okay. 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 So what is the tax revenue now? So the tax revenue, as you noted, is alpha WL, but this L is a function of omega, which is basically alpha W and then omega 1 minus alpha into W. Okay, so let us denote it by T. All right, now the job is very simple. What is this? So our problem is to maximize T alpha, where T equals alpha WL. Now L is a function of 1 minus alpha into W. Okay. So what is the FOC now? So FOC is dt d alpha, which is equal to W into H of omega, which is this one, okay, minus alpha W square now what will happen? DH, right? D omega and then D omega dW. Okay, that differentiation has been done actually when I write alpha W square. Okay, so let's write it directly. So alpha W square dH dW. Okay, remember this one is omega and this one is W. How does it come? By different continuing this. So d omega dW. Okay, you find this and you'll get this expression. All right. So okay, now this equals to 0 if I am trying to maximize it. Now one problem is that, you see what this expression means. This expression means that if alpha is increased, then tax revenue increases by W into H omega. So that is fine. Now what is the meaning of the expression on the right side? This expression tells the fact that hours worked changes. So hours work changes, and this is a minus sign. So what does it tell us? It tells us that if LS is upward sloping, then DH/DW is essentially positive, which reduces the tax revenue, right? So that's what we were talking about earlier, that if labor supply curve is upward sloping, then tax revenue reduces wage, and that actually reduces the decision of work after the tax is imposed, which will reduce T. Okay. All right. So we are trying to find how these two are connected. Now, tax revenue reduces if this expression here, H omega minus alpha W square dH dW, it actually becomes negative. Then the optimal is to reduce tax. So tax revenue will increase with an increase in alpha if this is negative, right? So at 0 we are at optimal, correct? Okay. So 0 is optimal. If it is negative, then tax revenue will decrease with an increase in alpha. Okay. DTD alpha is negative. So where does it lead to? So 1 by alpha less than DH dW into W by H omega. Now if I multiply this by 1 minus alpha on both sides, then this DH dW and this becomes W into 1 minus alpha by H omega, right? And then this will becomes DH dW into omega by H omega. Okay. Oh. No. Sorry. Again, we are a bit. Okay. I made a mistake. I got confused between W and omega. Sorry. I should have calculated it explicitly. So this W is basically, it is omega. Okay. So this DH dW is wrong. This is DH d omega. Okay. So this is, wait, DH d omega. This is also DH d omega. Sorry. This is DH d omega. This is also DH d omega. Yes. This is also DH d omega. Sorry. All right. So we start with this W H omega minus alpha W square DH d omega. And if we adjust, then it becomes this. Okay. So what is the expression on the right hand side? The expression is of elasticity. And what is the elasticity? What of this elasticity is? So this is elasticity of labor supply with respect to after tax wages. Okay, so this is labor supply with respect to after tax wages, and that gives us the other result that we are looking for. What is the result? The result is the tax revenue of the government reduces from a small increase in tax rate if elasticity of after tax labor supply is greater than one minus alpha by alpha, where alpha is the tax rate, right? Okay. So just to repeat, we first constructed with alpha tax rate, we constructed the after tax, the tax revenue received by the government, where the, okay, I have written H again, anyways. So where the labor hour is decided on omega, the after tax wage, and then we maximized it at when this equals 0, it is optimal. So when it is negative, the tax revenue actually reduces with an increase in alpha, okay? And then we derive the condition which tells us that if elasticity of labor supply with respect to after tax wages, this is greater than 1 minus alpha by alpha, then the tax revenue falls, okay? So this is the result. All right. There is one special case which I'll just mention, and the special case is this: if the individual with inheritance optimizes at labor equal to 0, which I have denoted here by H, and N equal to 24, so there is no work. If the individual with inheritance optimizes at 0 labor or no work, change in income tax does not affect him or her. Okay. Now this is trivial. Someone who is not working, a change in what is this? A change in tax is not going to affect him. Okay, so let's just look at the diagram. The diagram is very simple, but the diagram is interesting because it's a special case. So what we are talking about in this is something like this. So someone has, so this is our 24, N and 0 and Y. Now we are talking about somebody who has inheritance. So the labor supply, so the budget line ends up at some point over and above the axis. Now the individual is optimizing at no work. So that means the optimization point appears here. So this is the E of no work. Now, if I decrease the income tax to give an incentive to the individual to work more, what will happen? The budget line will reduce. The budget line not reduce, the budget line will become more flatter. But the point is this, at this point, the optimization has been done with this IC. Now, if I take a different budget line, whether it is flatter or even steeper, so if it is a flatter budget line will not create a tangent here, right? Because at the same point, it cannot happen. But also, now for this guy, he is basically optimizing at a kink. This is a kink point, correct? Okay. So the individual is optimizing at a kink point. And because of this, even when the budget line is being lowered and the government is charging lesser tax to pay, that will not affect this individual. So this is a special case which basically shows that if somebody is not working from the start, then a tax incentive will not work. Okay, so that's the basic result. The tax incentive will not work for somebody who is not even working.